right, so welcome back to the channel, man. This is the hot newness, right? And previously in the video prior to this, man, I actually tested this feature out and it was really incredible. It felt really nice and fluid to be able to play Spider-Man game I love playing in the variable refresh rate setting. It's very nice, very organic, and even pairing it with this TV, just being able to see that I'm getting a legitimate frame counter is really nice. But I was interested in going a little bit further and just testing this thing. So when you go to settings, you go down to screen and video. Something that I noted in the previous video was that you can apply this to unsupported games, right? So I'm just curious as to seeing what type of experience we'll have if the game is not on the list. Right now there's about 12, 13 games. I've got Days Gone downloading right now. That's gonna take a little bit longer. I would like to try that game because I do actually like that game, but let's try Strider. Okay, so first things first, this game does run at a nice butter smooth fluid 60 frames per second, but I'm just curious to see what happens. No VRR on. So I don't know if this is like something that's supposed to work on the back end with games that, you know, don't have any settings. And obviously this is a PlayStation 4 title. Still, I was curious to know. Now we've got our steady 60 on there, which is the hertz count that this is pushing out. I mean, this game is perfect anyway. It's better on PC. You do get more textures. It doesn't look bad on here though. Kind of look like it's got scan lines, but let's see if we can try something else though. God of War, an opportunity. Such a beautiful game. Let's get this loaded up and see what it goes like. Now, no frame rate counter, no variable refresh rate turned on. So at least from this perspective of the combination between the TV and the console, it looks like it's going to be based on if it's specifically been implemented into the game. Obviously, this is a new feature that just came out today, but it doesn't look that it's going to activate and at least show universally for everything just because you turn it on, right? I mean, we know like from the previous video, when you activate it within the actual game, the game Spider-Man, the display goes black because it's actually changing itself, but that's not an option here. Like there's no way to force this game to acknowledge that. Just kind of like on the back end. And the reason that the frame rate counter on the TV is so valuable is because it's there to kind of help you see. Like, you know, you don't want to just be told that, hey, yeah, you're playing a game at 30 frames or 60 frames. Obviously, between those two, you can tell. And I can tell if I'm beyond 60 frames, but, you know, it would be very helpful if, you know, this was something that was just like universally unlocked so that these TVs can take advantage of showing you exactly what it's doing. If in fact it's forcing something, whether or not the game is optimized for it is irrelevant in my opinion. I think it would be helpful to the user to just be able to know that, hey, you know, this is something that you can see that you've actually got turned on.
So want me to tie it to the boat?
It feels like it's running at 60 frames per second. And listen, I'm not the most scientific with this, but again, you know, it'd be nice if you could see that. So let me try to give like the Horizon game an opportunity and see. That's something new. It's a PlayStation 5 actual game. I know the HD remaster of Spider-Man is PS5 exclusive, so let's see if Horizon does anything different. Hey, so we got this Horizon running. Game is absolutely beautiful, man. Just absolutely beautiful. Nothing shy of it. But from the VRR perspective for this video, it's not on here either. So I guess nothing to be shocked at there. HDR is on, FPS is on, and obviously I'm using this TV combined with the PlayStation 5 as a reference. So my thoughts truly are that it's probably going to be best to utilize this feature maybe once it's fully, out there. Because as of right now of this recording, it is 11:30 a.m. Eastern time as I'm recording this. I just put the Spider-Man video up like 40 minutes prior to this, maybe an hour. Okay, so I'm seeing some comments from some of you men and women saying that you don't even have the update as an option yet. So who knows? I think this is a start of some great stuff. I did get one comment from a subscriber asking me to test Spider-Man, which is optimized for VRR, right? And I think that's something we need to coin and start using. VRR optimized games, right? This is not one of them, even though this is brand new. I would have expected this to be a title, but who knows how they go through that and how much work the developers have to put in. But we do know that this is something that's only on the PlayStation. So again, I would expect a game like this to have this feature. So I don't want to turn this into a pity party or me being disgruntled or anything, but we have waited a long time for something like this to be available. But it's a nice feature. Before we conclude this though, I am going to switch back to Spider-Man Remastered, which is optimized for variable refresh rate on the PlayStation 5. And I just want to see if I get some different performance out of the different modes within that game. So we're going to go ahead and end this and be right back. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and go to the settings. Now I had this variable refresh rate turned on for everything, applied to unsupported games. And who's to know if there's a list of unsupported games and how it works? Obviously, I don't think there would be. Well, logically, I don't think there would be a list, because if there's a list of unsupported games, then that means those games were tested in some degree. So we'll have to rely on some other content creators that would, do a better job of being able to test things like latency and the refresh rate to see if it's really changing. Okay, so I'm taking that off because we're going to go and actually play a game that is 100% supported with this technology, which is Spider-Man Remastered. This thing is optimized for the solid state drive that PlayStation 5 has and everything else. So I did have a subscriber ask the question about me testing some of the options.
Suit's seen better days. I think I can repair it at the lab.
So this is fidelity mode right here. I can tell, okay? So my frame rate is not where it was, but this does look really good, really good. So let's check the frame rate, see if we're at 40 or what. 80, 120, 80, 120, 80, 120. Yeah, this feels like it's 40 frames per second. Which this is hella playable. So I can understand exactly why they chose to do this as an option, especially for the Miles Morales. That is awesome. All right, let's try okay, the performance mode.
Better repair this.
Yeah, for sure, much more smoother. Now, again, I'm playing this game at, or recording this 4K at 30. So sorry, you won't be able to see a difference in the fluidity. Just trust that I'm experiencing this. Yeah. So when slinging, I am seeing around a good 80 to 90 realistically. Idling there around 100. And then I'm going to go back to this ray tracing mode really quick, just to kind of tie this all in just to see what it's doing.
Suit's seen better days. I think I can repair it at the lab.
All right, so this was a request. I just happened to see the comment as I was shooting this video. Yeah, so my recommendation would definitely be to play with the ray tracing. The shadows, the reflections, much better. Plus performance is like apples to apples. But that's why having this game bar is so good on this TV, on the LG TV. This is really, really a good feature. See, this is something that you never could do with consoles. You know what I mean? Like if you just kind of wanted to see what it was, you got to wait on like a digital foundry type of situation. When your display is kicking, it should actually be able to present you with some facts. So hopefully this has been helpful. If I were to make a recommendation, my recommendation would be that you enjoy the titles that actually support this natively, okay? I would probably stay away from the titles that don't. And when I say stay away from the titles, I mean not forcing anything just because you don't know what the results would be if you'd be playing a game and there's just some changes. I mean, it does tell you in the settings, if you notice some changes, you know, just turn this feature off. Normally when it goes to that, I feel like you're not getting a perfect representation of what the content creators intended for you to experience with the game. So that's just my recommendation. Leave any comments. If you guys got any questions about this, you know, just, I don't know, let me know. I figured I would get this content out. So you guys probably gonna get sick of seeing me today, but I got a lot of time today. So until the next video, Max love.